Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
I am so glad that you all are joining us here today for Into the Twilight. Welcome in. We have stale donuts.
Yeah.
That are all cut in half.
Scalding hot coffee.
But there's no flavor.
No, it's incredibly bland.
And also we're in a break room with fluorescent lights that you can hear.
Yeah.
It's
and
just
they
a
do
really
flicker
hostile
a little.
environment.
Yeah. So welcome to that energy. I hope you enjoy.
Yeah, just get comfortable.
Yeah. I don't see why anyone would have a problem with this situation.
Yeah, with really like squeaky chairs where the leather is cold but also kind of wet, you know?
Yeah, it is sticking
to
your
your thighs
long time for sure. Yeah.
Since I've been in a break room. I don't actually know what they're like anymore.
It's like, what are the vibes like in a break room?
All I remember the last time I was in a break room was that anytime someone brought in donuts, they were always cut in half, and it was never donuts that you liked.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It's just like, what if I wanted a whole donut? What about that,
Right.
Sharon?
Yeah, right.
What if I don't want half of a glazed donut?
Yeah.
And then
it's like, I think
half
the
of
overhead on this is okay. Like, I think we're going to be cool if I just take one donut. That's
Yeah, because the
intact.
last time that I was having a donut in a break room was like 5 years ago, before the world exploded. We could afford donuts back then.
Right.
Sharon.
It's like, you don't even know what's coming, Sharon.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
you don't know.
Now stop microwaving your salmon in here. God, it's fucking 9 a.m. It's a little bit of a hostile environment this Monday morning, folks.
Yeah.
It do be like
Yeah.
that, though.
Sorry, we're going to have a meeting with HR after this. And just, like, sort out the bad juju and energy going on here.
Yeah, we need to kind of cleanse the space a little
Yeah.
bit. But we're glad that you're here.
Yeah.
We can confirm that there are no cryptids or supernatural creatures that are in this break room. Which might be a disappointment for some of you. Wait, why are you all leaving? No, wait. I was just kidding. They're all here. They're all
I
joining.
love this very, like, Stanley Parable-esque, like, simulation you created for yourself in this moment. It's like, we can't get out of the bit. We're trapped. We're in the break room. till we
I
die.
loved that game so much.
Yeah.
I don't know how you knew that, but the voice actor of the Stanley Parable is on TikTok
Okay.
and joined like a week and a half ago, and that really did something for me and reminded me how much I loved that game.
I would feel like that'd be a very unsettling thing to, like, show up on your For You page of just, like, that voice and be like, oh, God.
It transported me.
Yeah.
How are you?
I am good. I actually have an appropriate segue, because I want to talk about a streamer who plays video games on the World Wide Web.
A streamer that plays video games, okay?
Yeah, she's just a Twitch streamer. Her name is Ashley Roboto.
Oh.
Kept seeing her a lot on TikTok, I feel like last year-ish, maybe. And I've always, like, followed her, but I haven't, like... But this week, or, like, last week, she was like, oh, I'm playing The Last of Us for the first time. And I was like, fuck yeah.
Oh my god.
I've never played The Last of Us, and I'd like to see this person who seems very charming and fun play it. And it was great. And, like, all of her other streams are, like, a very fun vibe. It's, like, incredible, chaotic, like, bisexual Canadian energy. There's a very, like, solid chat thing going on. Like, it feels like everyone's, like, friends, which is very fun. All of her overlays are very cute. There's certain goals that, like, she dances. I tuned into a stream out of context, not knowing what was happening, and she was in a full crab costume, just dancing.
Oh my god.
And I was like, this is a great vibe.
I love that so much.
And I'm a big fan. And it's just like a good time. It's like a little like FaceTime with a friend playing a little video game. It's very fun energy.
I feel like it is hard for me to just find streamers.
Mm-hmm.
I need to always get recommendations from people.
Yeah, the Discover feature is so bad.
It is. And I actually really enjoy having a streamer like on, because I agree that it feels like just FaceTiming with someone.
Mm-hmm.
But to just open Twitch and select someone feels terrifying to me.
Yeah, and there's like no good way to do it. Like I feel like every person I've like found or whatever has been like through other channels of things rather than like Twitch itself, because they don't want you to find who is in like the top 10 making the bajillions of dollars or whatever.
I love Cody game reviews. I love that you are getting back to your roots.
Yeah, I'm back to my gamer. This is me. This is real. This is me. I say that even though I've not picked up my Switch again in like months.
I don't even know where mine went.
But it's okay, you know? We're all right. I can only have one hyperfixation at a time, and that's okay. So
that's so real. I respect that and agree.
Yeah. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
Congrats.
I am a hard agree on the hyperfixations.
Yeah.
Most of which, for me, has just been playing Sudoku.
So true. So true.
This past week, I think I told you I got that like big book of Sudoku puzzles.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this past week, I got through the like warm-up puzzle, like the easy ones.
Yeah.
Which there was like 70 pages of those. And now I'm on to the like medium ones. And that's just hard.
Yeah. That's fucked up. Sudoku should only be in easy mode. It's not fair.
Because I was only doing it to, like, kind of turn my brain off.
Yeah.
But still, just like a medium engagement of my brain, right?
Right.
And now I'm having to, like, think, which is kind of fucked up.
It's rude. You ever see that guy on YouTube who's like, I'm going to solve a Sudoku puzzle that only has one number in it? And I'm like, who has time for this? Who? Why would you do this? Why? Why would you spend so much of your time hurting yourself like that?
That's so rude. And, like, I found myself this week starting to, like, chastise myself for looking at the answers in the back. And then I was like, wait a second. This isn't my fucking math homework. I'm doing this for fun. Like,
it's not my job. It's like...
It's not... I'm not turning this into the fucking IRS. Like, I'm just doing this for fun. Anyways. So, I needed a new show to watch because I finished all fucking 15 seasons of Criminal Minds.
Oh my god. Congratulations. And also
Thank
I'm
you.
sorry.
I was like doing my rewatch and I needed another rewatch to just like have on.
Yeah.
And when I finished it on Hulu, it was like, hey Basti, I know that you like crying. Do you want to rewatch This Is Us? And I was like, thank you so much. I do. So my happy thing this week is the love of my life. And I'm so excited. I don't think I've ever brought him to the space, which is kind of like wild. It is, of course, Milo Ventimiglia.
Hell yeah.
This 45-year-old man has been my crush for literally like since 2000, maybe earlier.
Damn.
Maybe since, and that's kind of, we're nearing like Jesse McCartney level, like we've been in it for the long haul, kind of thing. I don't usually bring, it's not my usual thing to bring like a straight white man on this show.
Yeah, we're usually a bit more discerning.
Right. However, you know, like we've had a long-standing relationship here, so I feel like it was necessary.
Yeah.
I've loved this man for a long time. And when I think of Milo, the only good Milo, BT Dubs. His SEO's gotten a little fucked up, you know, over the last 6 or 7 years, but that's all right.
Sure.
It's not his fault that there's other bad people named Milo. This is a man made for television. And when you see this man in television, you know, like, oh, this is going to be a long-running TV show. Get this man in television.
Damn.
I have loved this man since. I'm just looking at photos of him. It's so fucked up.
We're gonna lose you. You're gonna...
I know. I'm focused. I've loved him since Jess on Gilmore Girls. Obviously, hello.
Yeah, sure.
I followed him to Heroes. Rip.
Yeah, R.I.P.
But like, still, it started. Listen, I believed in it. You know, it had promise.
Wait, sorry, I don't want to interrupt this very good thing, but I'm looking
Please.
at this man's IMDb right now, and he was in that movie that I kept seeing trailers for before.
The one with the dog?
With the dog!
And the race car?
Race car driver!
I wasn't gonna bring it up. I wasn't gonna bring it up.
Listen, he's allowed to get his coin. I respect
Listen.
it. Absolutely.
Oh my god. And then obviously, This Is Us, which I'm now watching. But apparently, and I didn't realize this, that there's a show that's like starting like now that he's in, and he's like a criminal, and he's only in Suits.
Oh yeah, I keep getting ads for this. It's like very
Yeah.
horny. They always
It's, like,
use
super
Unholy
horny.
as the trailer music, and it's very unsettling. But he does look very good in it.
He does. I'm also, other things that stand out for him, obviously, when he was in Creed and Creed 2.
Sure, yeah.
But this man has been in things for forever. Like, I think the first time that I ever saw him was in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because I think that was like his first time on television. He's been in it since I was 1 year old, which is kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
I love this man. Has he done only good things? Absolutely not. Hence, the fucking race movie with the dog.
They can't all be winners, all right?
But he's like fine wine. This man has been beautiful for forever. And I don't
he's very nice to look at.
understand it. He's nice to look at, but he's also good. And that doesn't always happen.
Right.
Also, I am also looking at his IMDb page now. He was in Fergie's Big Girls Don't Cry music video.
What? What hasn't this man touched?
He is a triple threat.
He's the hardest working man in showbiz.
His royalty checks must be wild, because he was in like one episode of a lot of different shit.
Oh, sure.
Anyways, love this man. If he ever does anything to betray me, I will be heartbroken. So please don't.
Yeah.
Just shut your mouth, be beautiful, and don't do any more of those dog racing movies.
Yeah, please, God.
Do you remember? This is just a fucking aside. Do you remember when that came out, and then like the next year later, it was there was that like dog and man lost in the woods.
Oh, yeah.
And it was another, like, they used the same CGI as Twilight.
Right.
Who the fuck was that? I want to retweet. Yep.
Yeah, so true. So true, King.
So true, bestie. It was, wasn't, oh, no, this is gonna break my, it was the guy, it was Harrison Ford, right? I want to say,
I think so.
Why did that happen? What was that like? Okay, we're in, COVID just started.
The
What
Call
the
of the Wild.
The Call of the Wild. The thing that the world needs right now to help with the Newtons is animated dogs.
This made $111 million.
Shut the fuck up. No,
According
it
to
didn't.
Google. Yeah, it was released in February of 2020.
No,
Like the
this
end
is
of
what did
February.
it. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think we
It
finally
wasn't
have
Cats.
a cause.
It
yeah.
wasn't Little Women. This is what did it.
Fuck. Oh my god.
And Bradley Whitford was in this. And Karen Gillan. Dan Stevens.
What? What is happening? This can't be real. This was made up.
This was a fever. Why did they spend so much money? All right, hold on. I'm going to need to look up this movie later.
Oh my gosh.
The world's went a different direction at that time. All right.
Yeah.
Anyways, Milo, thank you for your service. Continue
Thank you.
Being beautiful and keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. That's all I can ask of you.
That's all I need from you. Our current event this week is Call of the Wild.
Yeah, we're doing a debrief. My favorite
Because
movie,
what
Call
the
of Wild.
fuck happened? Why was Harrison Ford co-starred with a CGI dog named Buck? Hello?
How did we fall so fast as a society?
Why did they spend so much money on that? Why were there underpaid, non-unionized VFX workers working
Right.
on, like, killing themselves for Buck?
Yeah.
You know? They needed
Yeah.
some bucks, is all I'm saying.
Period.
Retweet.
Retweet.
Okay. Oh, okay. It's fine that we don't have any current events because the chapters that we have this week are kind of buck wild, you know?
Yeah, we got some shit going on. And I'm scared. Look, last week, we say this every week now, and I know it gets boring and tiring, and you don't believe us. It's a very boy cried wolf situation.
Buck cried.
And that we're scared for everyone involved. But I cannot
Right.
stress enough how scared I am for everyone in these books at this current moment.
Here's what you missed last week when you weren't here at our break room cryptid meeting.
Yeah.
There was a cult meeting called the Death Watch that Adrian snuck him and his 10 friends into. And
All of his plus
Rose
ones.
got because they were like, you're not a star-bellied sneech. And they were like, the queen was like, get out of here. So naturally she was like, well, I'm going to go see my boyfriend who's not my boyfriend, but the love of my life, who's locked up in prison. He was like, I don't love you. I mean, I don't. And he's a really bad liar now because he's human.
Yeah. Right.
Like, you look super hot in this dress. And you're like trying to hold my hand through the bars of this prison. But I don't love you. Okay, bye.
Yeah. Anyway, get out.
That's what you missed on Glee.
That
If
is
this
what
was
you
Glee, actually, though, Rachel Berry would be singing River like she did in that Christmas episode.
Fuck. Yeah, that is the vibe in which we are entering space.
Yeah. She'd be bopping and weaving through the Christmas trees like she did during that episode.
Yeah. So Rose and Mikhail are outside being like, well, what? What now? That was kind of awkward.
You win some, you lose some, bestie.
Yeah, hey, you can't win them all. It's okay. She like briefly kind of like went into Lissa's brain and was like realized that like the Death Watch finally ends, and she's like, okay, cool. Like, I know where everyone is, and like I'll go to sleep because I'm tired. I'm out.
And when was
I
the
don't wanna
last
do
time
this
she
shit.
slept, you know?
Yeah, if we really track it down, it's probably been several days at this point, if not longer. So Homegirl is tired, for sure.
She needs it.
Yeah.
I don't even think she gets into her REM sleep at this point.
Yeah, and she's still, like, not even getting sleep. Like, she's still, like, tossing and turning, hearing Dimitri say he doesn't love her anymore over and over again. And it's not a very healthy situation here.
Typical Rose. Being like,
Yeah.
why would I sleep if I could just fixate on the stuff that causes me pain?
Right, exactly. And it's like, oh, and then there's a knock on the door. And she's like, well, I'm barely sleeping anyway, and my dreams are
Right.
painful, so I might as well see what's up. And it's Adrian. And it's like early as fuck in the morning. Like, it's like, what the hell is happening? Early, she thinks it's early, but it's not early, because I guess she actually does find time to sleep in a little bit. And Adrian's like, yeah, all right, well, we got some stuff going on. There's finally the verdict in the council of that big resolution. Bam, bam, bam. We should figure out what it is. And it is the one that, famously, not the one that is Dimitri's. Is he alive? Or what do we do with him?
No.
But the one that Rose had been summoned for to talk about.
Right.
when she was bragging about how cool and good at fighting she was.
And poor Rose, sleep deprived, and also unclear of what this is. Like, oh, that's great news.
Right. Yeah, because, like, she has no idea why she was even called to. Like, she was like, I had a good time. They all thought that I was very good at fighting. And, like, I think I did a good job. Hopefully, whatever that means something's good. You know? But, uh-oh, it's not. Adrian tells her that they passed a decree so that the legal age for Hampiers to become guardians is lowered to 16 instead of 18. Bum, bum, bum.
So now they essentially like graduate as sophomores.
Right.
So they go to it's not even a 4-year. They go for an associate's degree.
Yeah,
and
literally
then
an
get
associate's
shipped
degree
out.
in fighting. Yeah. And Rose is obviously like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. And also, like, how could anyone think that, like, a 16-year-old is, like, ready for that kind of thing? And Adrian's like, well, bestie, it's because you testified that. And Rose goes into shock, and it's like, that's impossible. Like, you know, no way. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And also, like, I wasn't even 16. Like, none of these make sense. You know, that's not a justification for everyone, you know? And so he's like, all right, well, they're still wrapping up. We still have time. If we maybe want to say something, it's probably really chaotic. Let's see what everything's going on. And, like, Rose is, like, preparing, like, her oral arguments a little bit for, like, a few minutes, and, like, gets dressed. And it's like, all right, it's Elle Woods time. Let's go. Like, let's make a case.
Well, and she's so confused because she's like, I didn't say that. Mm-hmm. I didn't say that it should be lowered. And fucking Adrian, as they're, like, speed walking over to the court in the court, lights a cigarette.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, this has been a hot topic for a long time. And they knew they needed a lot of evidence. And when you came in and testified that you were able to kill Strigoi before even graduating, they were like, bet, like, this is all, that's exactly what we needed to secure this.
Yeah, and something, too, that we find out a little bit later is, like, one of the things she said was, in that testimony was, that they need more guardians. Like, there's just certainly not enough. And, like, that, again, gets taken out of context in this, or, like, weaponized in a way that's like, well, obviously the solution here is to make 16-year-olds do it. And that's, like, obviously puts her in a certain type of way of, like, what the fuck? That's not what I meant.
Right. So rather than what Lissa and Rose are working towards right now, and I would say Christian too, to a degree, of eliminating the need for guardians dying in this success by saving Strigoi. They were like, well, fuck that. Let's just send younger babies out there to fight.
Right.
So what could go wrong?
That seems like good. It's like, we're not going to let Moroi use magic offensively, so let's bring children. That seems like a good compromise.
Yeah.
And this council scene is chaotic. Everyone's yelling.
Oh my god.
People are, like, throwing shit at each other, probably. There's, there's, like, just Tatiana kind of in, like, the center of it all. Giving a very much, like, in Mean Girls when she's, like, watching everyone go into chaos and being like, I did this. You know what I mean? Like, a little smirk on it.
Yes.
That's kind of the energy she's doing right now, just kind of, like, looking at everyone, like,
Tatiana's definitely
sitting.
wearing those, like, pink sweatsuit pants that are bejeweled on the butt.
Yes, exactly. Because, like, she's the only one that's, like, having this, like, regal, like, the council etiquette in politics, and everyone else is kind of, like, fighting each other, but she's like, I'm stable, and, like, I know what my duty is, which is annoying. And so we kind of get the gossip of, like, who voted for what, or in favor and not in favor, and apparently it was a very close vote. of 5
I
to
wish
6.
we could have seen this in the TV show because I feel like
Yeah.
it would have been broadcasted on those big screens of
Yeah.
like their photo and who they voted for.
Right. Yeah, like a election poll situation. Or like
Exactly.
when they do like the Supreme Court stuff, it's like, yes, no. Like,
Exactly. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. And it's like you got Ozera, Batica, Dashkov, like, you know, all the homies.
Apparently, though, it was like it came down to like a tiebreaker, and
Yeah.
fucking Tatiana in her matching jumpsuit set was the one who naturally like pushed this through.
Yeah.
And Rose is like starting to come out of her shock and is realizing Tatiana used her.
Yeah.
Well, because like she didn't get a choice, right? She didn't have a choice not to testify
Right.
and didn't know why she was there. So she's like, I didn't like Tatiana to begin with. I've already not liked this woman, and now I'm pissed. So I need to make a scene.
I need to say my piece.
Right.
They find Lissa, or like they sense Lissa, which is good because Lissa's like, "What the fuck is going on?" Doesn't make any sense. And not just the the age thing, but also she's like kind of isn't it kind of fucked up that like they didn't even mourn anyone publicly? Right. Like this just happened, and like one of the people that was literally on the council and like around, or like all the people working there and stuff are affected by this, and like there's other stuff going on. Like that seems fucking disrespectful, you know.
But that's the thing that too, and like Christian says this when he joins in with the whole group is like when there is a catastrophe, response for some people with that panic and fear is not compassion and grieving. Is like, we need to batten down the hatches.
Yeah, we gotta mobilize.
Right, exactly. Like, and not in the way, and there's so many different ways to do this, right? Because like the Ozeras, Christian and Tasha, have been like, well, we already have this magic, let's use it on the offensive. Not just for the Guardians, but for the Moroi. And they're like, obviously not. So
right.
The natural
Nice
thing
try.
to do is to use like the quote, like expendable class of people and keep going lower on age here. Because again, Ferrero is always really subtle with communicating ideas about oppression in her books.
Yeah.
I feel like though, like because of the fact that this is a YA text, it probably comes off more like subtle if I was younger and reading this.
Oh, totally.
I still feel like it would be pretty obvious, but that's like the point.
Yeah. Oh, God. So everyone kind of settles down a little bit. And Tatiana makes this, like, noble statement or whatever. That's like, thanks for coming and expressing your opinions. Some of you are like, not sure if this is the right thing to do, but, all the laws have been followed. And all these, like, old-ass laws have been followed here, and there's no problem. So, we can have another session to, like, hear what you have to say in a more respectful manner. But this is it. The verdict will benefit us all, so.
Before she, like, takes her gavel down.
Yeah, literally.
Rose is like, about that.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. God.
Fucking Lissa, too, is like, Rose.
Yeah. Well, because
Rose, shut up.
Yeah. Like, they stop and, like, the implication is that, like, this is the end of the conversation and, like, it's been done and finalized. And Rose is like, actually, I'd kind of like to talk my shit, if that's okay.
I would like to spit my bars now, actually.
And Lissa is, like, shooting daggers into Rose's brain, being like, stop. Stop it. What are you doing? Enough. But Rose is already moving, already going up there.
Oh my god.
And, people are like, oh my god, you're out of line. Like, you're getting out of, like, the council protocol.
You need
like,
to
you're
leave.
You gotta get out of here. You don't even go here, like. And Tatiana, being, I'm a cool girl energy, and it's like, no, that's fine.
She's wearing pink. I'm interested in what she has to say.
We've already had a few breaches of protocol. I don't understand. I don't see how this one more could really be an issue here. So say your thing.
Rose is like, here are 30 years of disagreements.
Yeah, right. Cracks knuckles. It's like, first of all. Yeah, of just being like, this doesn't make any sense. And also she's being very like, I'm not swearing. I'm doing like council etiquette. I'm being very proper, but still getting my point across.
For now.
How do you think this is okay for people to like risk their lives? And like 2 years can be a lot of time in your youth. Like that can be a lifetime's worth of stuff and experience and training, and also real life. That's a lot, and she's thinking obviously about her own when she was 16 and everything way back when. And she's kind of like surveying the crowd, and she's like, I think I'm kind of getting people. I think I'm kind of changing some minds here. Like some people, the people that are already agreeing with her are like, yeah, shaking their heads. And some people are like not able to look at her. And she's like, hell yeah, I'm sinking in. This is it. I got him. I'm going to sway some folks.
It is tough to hear who speaks up, which is Nathan Ivashkov.
Yeah.
And Nate's like, listen, I would love to see your people enjoy their youth.
Yeah.
But he's like, actually, that's not an option.
Right.
Because we're losing Mormoroy and Guardians all the time. And we just can't let that happen. We can't let those Tampier's skills go to waste by waiting a couple more years. And Rose, this plan will protect both our races. So
right. It's like, okay. And
so she
she's
tries so much not to like scream.
Right, literally.
I'm proud of her.
Yeah, she was up until, at one point, she is very reserved and very buttoned up and very like thoughtful with her words and being like, listen, they're not going to be ready. They won't have the training they'll need. And then we're going to die. And this won't be good for anyone. All right.
Yeah.
And Tatiana's, of course, trying to play the card of like, well, you testified and you said yourself that you were very competent and prepared at a young age to kill Strigoi. And, I think that's something to consider. And Rose, this is where Rose kind of like starts to shift a little bit here of being like, well, I had a very good instructor, but we can't hear from him because he's locked up and you have to, and you're worried about this thing. And kind of like pivots from the original argument here, which kind of loses a lot of people.
And Tatiana is very much like, that is not an issue that we're addressing today.
We are not talking about this today. First of all, that's not on the docket for today's agenda. Man.
But Rose is very clear in what she says, which is that because Tatiana's like, you and your companions have proven that you're able to defend us, being the Roy.
Yeah.
Rose is very clear in saying that they were exceptions to the rule. And that novices, for the most part, cannot reach that level at their age. Mm-hmm. So sending them out as sophomores, right, as second years, is not going to get the results that they are looking for. Mm-hmm. And all of the niceties are gone between Tatiana and Rose at this point.
Tatiana plays a dirty game.
She's so vile. And that's why I love, like, I'm so disappointed that we don't get another season of this, because I know the Tatiana in the show would nail this scene so well.
Oh my god. Yeah, completely. But so she goes, Rose is like, we're exceptions, we're not the rule, whatever. And then Tatiana just puts down a trump card, and it's like, well, we might need more excellent trainers then. And, you know, if we send you to St. Vladimir's or an academy, you can be a teacher instead of on your permanent administration duty that you have here.
Oh my god.
You could, you know, maybe speed up your return to becoming a bodyguard and getting an assignment and like being a guardian for real.
I would have
And Rose
lost it at this point.
Snaps. Yeah. And Rose, I'm very proud of her for being like this, even though she's kind of like smiling through it, but she's like, do not threaten me or blackmail me or bribe me ever. 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 And then that's when people in the audience are just kind of like, what is happening?
You know, the court transcriber is like, God damn. Like,
Yeah.
how do
So
I
this
put
is some
emotion
gossip.
into this?
Yeah. It's like, we gotta publish this stuff. This is good shit right here. Oh, God.
The crowd is very much like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And Tatiana's like over this because she changes to the royal we.
Yeah.
Which is such a God. I hate her and I love her because she's
Yeah.
like, we're getting weary of this conversation.
Yeah. And it's like, it's too late because it's already the law. So, sorry.
And I feel like what I saw in my brain is like Rose turns to walk away, and before she does, she like speaks into the mic and is like, "It wasn't a fair vote. It wasn't legal."
Your Honor, I call fraud.
Can I make a note for the court that it wasn't legal?
Yeah. And this is Galaxy Brain shit. The way this is done is so funny because
I imagine Rose like a flashback, and on her stealing like the Queen's Gambit is just
Yes,
like the court
just
laws.
playing like 3-dimensional chess, like going wild out here. Oh my gosh. Because at this point, you know, Tatiana's like, it's over, sorry. And
I won,
in
go
her
away.
head, like, sit down. She's giving you an out. Like, you're good.
Yeah,
Don't embarrass yourself.
go before
Rose
she
is like-
literally kills you,
Right.
like
And
executes
Rose is
you.
like, I am listening. I will not take that into consideration. Thank you very much. And spins around. And it's like, this actually wasn't fair. And it actually doesn't, the entire council didn't vote. There's an empty spot. It's been there for a really long time. And, just who happens to be in that family, who is, last time I checked, 18 years of age, which makes her could be a voting member of this council, did not get a vote. And she's here right now. Liza, come on down. Dun, dun, dun,
Christian
dun.
like pulls a little streamer out of his pocket.
Yeah.
Poor Lissa. Everyone turns to look at her, and she's like, God damn it, Rose.
It's like, can I not have one day? Normal shit. Please.
And the last thing in this like monologue that she says to Tatiana is, isn't 18 the legal voting age? Ma'am? And then she pulls out to fucking Tatiana and these old, dusty,
Yeah, she pulls out her
ancient
dusty
laws.
old book, all her scrolls.
And Tatiana's like, sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely. If the dragon may have had a quorum. And this was talked about in the show
Yes.
earlier, like early on in the show, about her, Lissa being the only one, and she needs to have more. She needs to be there needs to be more people for her to be able to vote. So, Rose, you're almost there.
Yeah, you're so close.
You're so close.
She's like, and she was like so on the tip of being like, fuck you, this is all bullshit, whatever. And then gets stumped by like archaic legal jargon from an old book. And her being like, what? So she needs to like have a kid to vote? And Tatiana's like, well, you know,
At least
someday,
2 members.
Sure. Yeah, you know, has to be at least more than one. And currently, as it stands at this moment, she's one.
And then
we got one.
Then it becomes my favorite part of this chapter, which is Rose in her head says, with no more ammunition, I resorted to old standbys. Because she's still at this fucking mic, right?
Yeah.
And so she
She
goes
is
to Tatiana,
filibustering right now.
and she's like, that is the most fucked up law I've ever heard. And now everyone loses it.
Complete chaos. And even Tatiana's like totally dropped the cool and the pomp and circumstance, and it's like, get her out of here.
Very like
Drag
off with
her
her
out.
head.
Yes.
Queen of Hearts energy.
Yeah. And I love too that she's like, not in the way that she's like, get her out because she's like insulting our standards or whatever, but just being like, we won't tolerate that kind of vulgar behavior. It's like, okay, I think there's other things you could be mad about her for, but okay.
I love this. I love that it's just like, she tried so hard to follow what Dimitri had said of like, you have to follow their rules. Mm-hmm. And then when nothing else works, she just resorts back to old Rose.
Yeah. And I love too that as she's getting dragged out, she's like, I've kind of been getting dragged out of places a lot recently. It is kind of comforting. It feels actually really nice. I do kind of miss these like just big arms just dragging me out. It's like, I'm not even fighting anymore. I'm just letting them take me away.
I love the guards too, because they're like, listen, Tatiana did say to just remove you, not what to do afterwards. So just like scram.
So yeah, just get out of here, I guess.
Yeah, as long as they don't see you, like, we're not gonna take you to a fucking dungeon or something.
Right. God.
So good. So good. Ugh. I love the ending of this chapter too is so good because the older guardian, like before he goes back in, is like, hey, so for what it's worth, I thought you were fantastic.
Yeah, I thought you did a really good job.
Which should not be good. Rose does not need that for her ego.
Yeah. Oh, poor girl.
So, rough start to the day for Miss Rose.
Yeah. God. So this next chapter, she didn't immediately scram. She's just kind of like fucking around by some trees and shit, and just being like, I just need to like chill out for a second.
I need to go kick a tree. I got too much energy.
Yeah, I gotta hit something. And she kind of like flips back into Lissa's brain a little bit. And apparently it's still chaotic, even though Tatiana is like, it's over. The session is over. Like, what are you doing? And, you know, Tasha's making like a very impassioned speech and, you know, trying to make a whole fight for it with, you know, Lissa and Christian and everyone. God. And
It's not going well in there.
yeah. And we get this, you know, confirmation from the outside world of being like, hey, Lissa, like, has shown that we can bring them back. Strigoi back.
Sure.
So, like, we don't have to, like, necessarily be on full offense here and, like, risk children's lives. If there is a chance we have something we have two people that can do spirit and use spirit and could potentially do this. So, option. But of course, everyone's like, hearsay, that you're a heretic, you're a witch.
Yeah. Poor Tasha. She's so smart.
Yeah.
But no one listens to her just because of her last name.
Yeah.
And that's so
She always gets the runaround. It's fucked up.
I know. I don't like it. I'm going to be honest with you. I was not expecting the rest of this chapter and it to be a repeat of, was it 2 books ago?
Yeah, right. We're like that whole grandstanding thing of Tasha being like, we should be able to use magic and defense and offense or whatever.
And not even just that, but like Ambrose and...
Oh, and Ambrose, yes. Right,
and
right.
Rhonda.
Right, yeah.
Because
totally.
like...
Yeah, that came so out of left field for me.
I
like,
know.
Okay. Hello.
Because Rose is like chilling underneath this cherry tree, just like disassociating into Lissa's mind, and suddenly like blinks back into her brain, and Ambrose is just like vibing there, just this like hot bod, and she's like, "Hello."
Yeah, it's like, okay, sir.
And it ends up being, not exactly a repeat, but like a second chance with Rhonda, the tarot reader.
It's tarot time, baby. We're back.
And it's so wild because, listen, it feels, Farrow has never been subtle in foreshadowing But this feels a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
It felt that way the first time, so to do it again, I'm just like, ma'am.
Yeah, and it's like, I guess this is a good interlude because Ambrose has an important relationship to Tatiana, which will become
True.
important. But I feel like if we're gonna make that connection happen, we don't have to do the tarot thing exactly the same again. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Rhonda has other cards up her sleeves, you know? Like, get a little crystal ball up in there, get some candles, you know?
Yeah.
Make her disappear. I don't know. Do something wild. But, like, I feel like doing it in the exact same way, like, makes sense, but it's also, like, I feel like we're getting the same idea of, like, obviously she's very confused and, like, has a bunch of shit going on right now and is scared and unsure of her future.
Right.
But, like, I think we could have figured that out. That's not exact copy.
Well, because, like, Rose has interacted with Ambrose outside of Rhonda before.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that they have a connection with both being Hampiers and her being so confused of, like, you're a man and you're a Hampier, but you're not a guardian. I'm confusion, right? And, like, the biases that she has with that.
Yeah.
And so
it's like, that's not allowed.
Right. And so there doesn't need to be, like, Rhonda doesn't need to be involved. So I'm curious what they're setting up with, because there's some of the things that Ambrose says in this chapter about his connection with Tatiana that I wonder what she's setting up.
Right.
Aside from the tarot. Mm-hmm. So, very interesting. Anyways, I was surprised that Rose did it again. I mean, good on her for being open-minded, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though it's just her and not, like, Lissa. So that's good. I'm proud of Ferrero for actually using the correct language this time. And saying,
I was gonna ask, did it feel better this time around?
It felt better that they still used the slur, like, of having Rose say it, but it was corrected. Like, Rhonda was like, no, I am Roma. Please don't use that anymore. So I felt like that was, I don't know if it was Ferrero learning and trying to help her readers learn. But I don't care. I'm glad that it was done.
Yeah.
But I was like, girl, can we just do a 3-card spread? Why did we need to extend this?
Yeah, why did it need to be 5? I think we get the picture.
Why did we need to do a 5-card? Jesus Christ. Anyways, I fully agree with you. I felt like it was unnecessary. It was everything that we already knew, right? Last time, it was very much setting up for the fact that Dimitri was gonna,
kick the bucket.
Be gone, girl, right?
Yeah.
And this time, it was just confirming what we already knew, right? That she is in a emotional discord with Dimitri, that she is in and having hostility with Tatiana.
Yeah.
The 8 of Swords, I found that interesting because they give descriptions for everything else. They don't for the 8 of Swords, but that one is like, you were in a trap of your own making. You can very much get out of it.
Right.
It's kind of like self-sabotage. I was surprised that they didn't explain that, but that's fine. Which is very much like Rose, right? Like, I'm going to ruminate on this shit. The only ones that feel more like setting up for later on are the 6 of Swords and the Page of Cups.
I love that she gets a few swords ones, and she's like, what is it with me and getting swords? Like, like, I'm sick of this.
It does. I mean, it's
feeling.
very... Yeah. That's very Rose,
tracks.
To be honest. But I felt like I've gotten very attached to how Ferrero writes, which I did not expect when we started this series.
Yeah.
This is not her strong suit of writing.
No.
it feels very forced to me, and I would rather this chapter have been something else.
Yeah, it feels very much like filler episode, which is like
Yeah.
not really what's good about her writing, which is like always kind of like in motion or like pushing something forward. And like at the end, obviously there's like something kind of being pushed forward, but it's like we could have gotten there in a different
agree.
way. That wasn't just like, let me kind of translate what I think tarot cards mean in a very particular perspective of my main character. It's like, oh, okay. Like,
Because it feels so much like a dictionary. Like, this chapter feels like clear that Ferrero just Googled stuff.
yeah, right. Yes.
And not her using her skill sets to make this powerful and painful.
Mm-hmm.
And that it feels weird to read. But anyways,
Yeah, I
there's
agree.
a foreshadowing of a journey and foreshadowing of something new. A lot of people read the Page of Cups as like a love offer, but it's just like new.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Ferrero is going towards like new love, of like making it very obvious, but whatevs. The ending of this chapter I feel like is more interesting to me because the fact that it's Ambrose getting very defensive.
Yeah, Loverboy is very defensive of Tatiana, which is interesting. Because obviously, like, Rose is kind of skeptical of his relationship with her, and she's like, I know you just kind of, like, allegedly hang out. Allegedly.
So people say.
Yeah, get a little frisky sometimes, or, like, a long massage, allegedly.
Right.
But she's like, I don't know what your thing is, and that's your business, whatever. But like, she's using you. She used me. Like, she's full of shit and like doesn't know what she's talking about.
Right.
And Ambrose is like, no, that doesn't sound like her. Actually, that's really not. And like in a very like passionate, defensive way of like, no, that really doesn't make sense. There must be something larger going on. This is a part of, because like that just doesn't track with who she
And
is.
Ambrose
Rose
is
like, what are you talking
very himbo.
Yeah.
He's like always happy, go lucky, and also like sexy, pretty baby oil for days.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so when Rose says like royal bitch, he gets like mad.
Yeah.
And Rose has never seen him mad before, and she's like, whoa. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
I thought this was a lot of people don't like Tatiana. I thought this was a common sentiment, but
I thought we were all on the same page here, but maybe I misread the room. Sorry. Whoops.
It's like on The Sims where they both have like a negative over their heads.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, all right, never mind. She tries to tell him too, like, I know whatever's going on between the two of you. I don't care. It's not my business. But know that she's trying to trick you into
Yeah.
believing that she's someone that she is not. And I fell for it before, but it is a scam.
Right.
She's trying to get you to be part of her MLM, and he's like, "Don't. I'm not."
I'm good.
believing that."
Okay.
That's not true. No.
Yeah.
I won't sign up for protein shakes in the
Right.
thousands from her.
And in the middle of them kind of like bickering about this, Rose essentially gets a page from Lissa in her brain. Like, hey, you're going to want to see this, but please don't cause any shit. And Rose is like, what the fuck does that mean?
Of course I'll cause shit. What do you want?
Yeah, what do you mean? I wish this was a two-way communication, but it's not.
Right, exactly.
And Amber's like, are you good? And she's like, yeah, I'm good. I just have to, Lissa needs me. I don't want to fight, but like, we have different opinions on this, like, but we both agree that like, this is fucked up for the kids and whatever. And he's like, yeah, for sure. I'll talk to her and I'll figure out the real story and let you know. And she's like, okay, sure. Whatever. Have fun with that. And she's like, all right, I gotta go. And she leaves and gets another ping from Lissa. And it's like, it's about Dimitri. Bum, bum, bum.
It's just like, how would that not... Lissa says, don't cause any trouble. But of course, I mean, Rose is going to cause trouble anyways, because that's who she is.
Regardless.
But if you're going to tell her it's about Dimitri, of course she's going to be like, move, get out of my way. Like,
right. Yeah. Come on now.
Everyone move. So next week, we have chapters 23 and 24. Presumably, I mean, we're getting towards like 80% of the way through this book, right? So presumably because the big trial is done, and it's something about Dimitri, my brain would go to, they are going to come to a conclusion about Dimitri. Because we only got a little bit left of this book, right?
Right. So, we really don't have that much left, so.
Right.
Uh-oh.
That is what I would assume, which makes me nervous. But that's okay.
Yeah. I'm worried, darling.
Oh no. We have some amazing patrons. Would you like to start us off?
Absolutely. Thank you to Kylie Minty.
Ooh. Thank you to Alex Dornan.
Ow, ow. Thank you to Mulch Gray.
Oh. Thank you to Jasmine Anastasia.
Ow. Thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ooh. Thank you to Cassandra O'Shea.
O'Shea. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh. Thank you to Hope Castile.
Ooh. Thank you to Rachel Ashford.
Ooh. Thank you to Maddie Facinelli.
Ow, ow. Thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh. Thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ow. Thank you to my mom, your mom, all of our moms, Kelly Beck.
Wow, wow, wow. Thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ow. Thank you to Laura Forty.
Ooh. Thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ow, ow. Thank you to Emily Ozera.
Ooh. Thank you to Jaylene Ivishkov.
Pew, pew, pew. And last but certainly not least, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Ooh. I have a fanfiction for you.
Ow. Let's go.
It is by the author. Oh, I don't know how to. Okay. Manticore Moons? Maybe that. I don't know. And it's titled On the Utter Importance of Perimeter Controls.
Okay.
The summary is who handwrites notes in this day and age anyway? He could easily send her an email or actually talk to her mano a mano like a normal person. But no, of course, he has to do things in the most irksome way possible at every opportunity. Even his praise sounds like an insult. This is Dimitri and Rose from, I think it's set in the television series.
Okay.
There are no chapters. It's like reading something with no paragraph separation. So I'm going to do this.
I believe in you.
Here is one of the letters. It reads, Dear Novice Hathaway, before our second training session, Friday, 4 p.m., same location, you are required to prepare the following. A list of at least 10 campus perimeter weak spots and provide detailed reasoning of why and how you would address each one. You will brief me on these orally. Perform 10 wind sprints per day. Do not attempt to shirk this, as I will be able to tell, and the conditions of these training sessions will come into force. Wrap your knuckles ahead of the session. Your performance this morning was adequate. However, there is much room for improvement. Sincerely, D. Belikov. Okay, this is from Rose. The first session was, as predicted, hell. There had been several moments when she was tempted to just refuse to follow Dimitri's directives, give him the finger, and trudge her way back to bed. But she stuck it out. And she even managed to keep her back chatting to a minimum, resorting to grumbling under her breath every single time Dimitri glared down his nose at her and ordered yet another sprint drill. The man sure loved giving orders and reciting rules, and generally being a pain in her proverbial arse. He's evil. He's literally demented, and I cannot stand him. Who? End scene.
Damn.
I miss this. I miss
them so much.
I miss when things felt simple.
Yeah. Take me back.
When they didn't have as much baggage, you know?
Right. Less trauma. Just a normal amount of trauma.
Just an extended but a fairly normal amount of trauma, you know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, take care of yourselves. Enjoy media. Tell us what you enjoy.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm going to make a decision this week that we're not going to say get whipped. Because I don't want more pain. But
okay. All right.
But as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
Get bit.
and get lit.
Oh my god. We're workshopping this in real time, right?
We'll come up with something. But no more pain. Just get bit.
No, that's fair. Yeah.
And get bangs.
Okay, well. that could also be construed as a trauma response, so maybe not that.
Oh god, that's true. Okay, just get bit.
All right, bye. Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/Into the Twilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.